Welcome to season 2 of Agents Confidential for 2026. We're very, very, very excited. 2025 was a big year for everyone. AEP ended, possibly the craziest AEP ended. The holidays came and went, and January still feels a bit chaotic. Still feels pretty heavy. ID card issues and client calls and emails and all the things. So, those things that just didn't magically stop on December 31st, unfortunately. But because 2025 and AEP in 2025 was huge, it was a very big one. Just want to take a second and congratulate you for making it through and for working hard and for all the effort that you put into 2025. Last AEP was a wild one and you worked hard. It was hard on everybody. And most goal setting content right now is going to assume that you are rested. We're not. We're not. So we're not going to do that today. Today's episode is not about pushing harder or setting louder goals for 2026. It's about being really honest about what 2025 and last year actually required of you. And also asking ourselves the question, how can we build a business that doesn't break us? Because chances are you crushed production in 2025, but you might feel exhausted, maybe a little resentful or behind. And those feelings really matter. Most goal setting does start with numbers, and I know that we did that last year too. More clients, more policies, more revenue, which is ultimately what we want. But today we're going to ask you something else. What broke when things got really busy? The truth is, agents aren't going to burn out because they lack motivation. They burn out because of their systems, or lack of boundaries, or capacity that can't support the level of success that they're chasing. Agents are going to burn out because of the seasonal intensity that comes along with AEP, the emotional bandwidth, or goals that ignore emotional bandwidth, and system fragility, and honestly just the reality of service work because it does demand a lot of you, especially in Q4. So today, we're going to introduce a new concept. Instead of scale first, we're going to actually talk about stability before you scale. This means asking yourself a very simple question, and that is, if my business doubled tomorrow, would it collapse or would it hold? Because more clients aren't going to fix messy intake, unclear boundaries, or systems that only work when you're exhausted. Growth is going to magnify what already exists in your business, both good and bad. And if your business is only working when you're being heroic, it's not stable, it's actually quite dependent. And the hero mode feels good for a while, and honestly is required of you during AEP. But over time, it's going to train your clients. Stability is about building a business that doesn't require you to be on edge to function. If your growth is only increasing your speed and pressure, that's not scaling. That's accelerating without proper support. Embracing the concept of stability before scale means making sure that the foundation of your business can actually hold the capacity in which you're trying to grow in 2026. So we're not going to start with revenue. We're not going to start with policy counts or production targets. We're going to start with stability this year. Goals without looking at stability is how we end up chasing numbers that quietly break us. So instead of the big long list of goals, we're going to talk about a simpler framework to start your year off and kind of recalibrate after this last AEP, because last year required a lot from you. So let's learn from it. There are 3 very simple goals that I want you to take a look at this year. The first one is your pressure point goal. Think back to AEP. What stressed you out the most? Was it scheduling? Was it intake forms? Was it client expectations, being available 24/7? All those things. Your first 2026 goal after living that is not to grow, but to make that specific pressure point 50% easier this year. So the biggest thing that stressed you out, what was it? How can it be 50% easier? That's your goal number 1 for 2026. Goal number 2 for 2026 is your future you system. This is when you're going to ask yourself, what would January you thank you for setting up right now? What are the things when you look back on this last AEP? What could you have implemented that would make your January smoother and easier? That's going to be your future you system. Future you does not need more motivation, but future you does need systems. All right, and last but not least, your third goal for 2026 is called your capacity goal. Growth without capacity is just stress with a paycheck. So, how many clients can you realistically serve well and without resentment? Because the beauty of being an agent is you are allowed to build a business that supports your life and not consumes it. So, ultimately, if 2025 taught you anything, that you can work hard, you've proven that. Now, the question for 2026 is, can your business work for you? So, we are really excited for 2026 and growing the podcast more and being on video. Eric will be on next. But as I said before, this was the third time filming this. So, we just wanted to get it out before January ends. So, thank you so much for tuning in. We are very excited. We have lots of fun content planned. And yeah, subscribe, tell your friends, and let's have a great 2026.